It's been a minute. It has been a long time. So I thought that I was going to post more frequently, and then life happened.
Solar eclipse, we were in Mercury retrograde.
I parted ways with my job, which we'll get into, and so many things happened, and now we are in the end of May, and it's been like a solid month. If you're still here, thanks for hanging with me, and thanks, and welcome back to my channel. The main thing that I'm realizing as I journey through human design and I learn more about myself and I learn more about my chart is really focusing on my open centers, which in human design is believed to be the centers where you have the most opportunity for wisdom. And one of the major centers that has been a theme for me in April and in May has been the sacral center. And the question that the open sacral has been asking me is, when is enough enough? When can I draw the line and say that I've done enough, that I'm good enough, that I don't need to give anymore, that I'm at a good place? The theme came up so much for me around productivity, especially in the workspace, because I work at a place and it's not like this place is unique and this is a unique experience. I feel like this has been my work experience all the way around, which is just giving and giving and giving and giving and giving tirelessly. This has a lot to do with the open solar plexus. This has a lot to do with being a projector and just even outside of human design, being a people pleaser.
Wanting to do for people, wanting to be seen, wanting to be recognized, wanting to be appreciated.
And seeing that giving and giving and giving and doing whatever people need and being the first one to volunteer and giving it my all every single day is the only way to do that in my mind. But I get to this crossroads where it's just like I give so much of myself that I lose myself to burnout, to frustration, to anger, to bitterness, because I feel like I'm doing all these things and it's never enough. There's a new challenge. There's more that needs to be done. It's great job, now let's keep working. It's to the point where I had to ask myself, like, what is more important to me? What does success look like to me? What does happiness look like to me? Truthfully, it looks like peace and it looks like freedom of time, freedom of money, just the freedom to choose my day as it appears, to give what is needed and necessary and never more, is what I've learned in this 9-to-5 society and collective ideology, is that free time is the enemy. If you have time to spare, you didn't do enough. There's more I can get out of you. And a lot of companies operate that way. How do we get the most bang for our buck? How do we get the most out of people? Not how do we make sure we have enough people to do the tasks that need to be done and maybe a little bit extra so we're ahead. It's like, no, we're going to get the finite amount of people and we're going to push them to whatever lengths we need to push them to so we can get that bang for our buck. I think like when I was in my 20s,
That was fun, that was fine, that was cool, that was cute.
I could do that. But now that I'm in my mid-30s, it's like that's not the kind of life I want to live. But essentially, my previous company got acquired, came over to that company. I was given a contract role. I had 6 months on that contract. If I made it through the end of that 6 months, I'd be considered for full time. And at the end of that 6 months, it was decided that they wanted to extend my contract further for further, review and evaluation. When I first heard that, I was okay with it because I was like, oh, the goal is a full-time job. But now that I got to that point, I said, you know what? No, I don't want to continue to give and give and give. Am I even happy here? Loved what I did. It just wasn't for me. And knowing more about myself as a projector and how my energy flows, and this finite amount of energy, it was draining me. It was making me ill. It was making me stressed. It was making me somebody that I don't even know who they are. I wanted to find another way. And I feel like for a lot of people on the outside, it seemed incredibly impulsive.
You just, one day you were fine with it and then the next day you weren't.
But behind the scenes, every night, every week, every month over the course of that 6 months, I was fighting to be there, proving myself to them, not being recognized, which is like a projector's worst nightmare. It's like people here doing all these things and nobody's saying anything to you until it's too late, and then everybody wants to say everything to you.
Oh my God, but you were doing such a good job, and we loved you and they loved you.
Yeah, but none of that recognition was coming up front. Funny, because I had a conversation with my friend. I have known this person since college. Both kind of just collectively were like, we have been lied to. And it's the dramatics of it all, but we have been lied to. We were told you need to do good in school and get a good job and build your way up and it'll all work out in the end. And when we all turned around and looked at it, we were like, this is a crock of So you're telling me that I gotta work at least until I'm 55. Even though if you have a 401k or some type of Roth IRA or some type of retirement savings, you get more benefits the longer you work. You get more money the longer, 67 and a half. The longer you work, the better it is for you financially for retirement years. But when I look in my lived experiences and I look around and I look at everybody, I notice that so many people are really sick in their 30s or like just not in the best health in their 30s and their 40s, and it just gets progressively worse. But by the time they are in their 60s, they have all of these health problems and they can't even really enjoy their retirement years. We've all collectively agreed that that's okay. We've all collectively agreed that we should work until we're too old or we're too sick or we're too tired or we're too burnt out to actually enjoy the money that we've been told we should put away. And it's just like, I don't know if that really gels with me. I don't know what really gels with me at this point in time. I think it's like me really discovering it. Like, does the whole climbing the corporate ladder shit really vibe with me? Or do I want to just get a bullshit job that I don't have to take home every night? Will have freedom and peace of mind. Do I want to work 7 different jobs? I don't know. I'm figuring all that out right now. You know what I do know? Enough is enough. I am tired. I'm tired of living in this conditioning state. You're never doing enough. That you have to wake up every single day and give 120% of productivity to make it in this world. I want to decondition from that. And I want to define what enough means for me. I want to define what enough work is for me, what enough time is focusing on work is for me. And I want to reframe my mind to look at rest as productive, not just from the sense of how I am in the human design system, being a projector and needing lots of time to rest and allow my body to rejuvenate, but just being a person in this world that is so focused on productivity. I want to reframe for myself that rest is indeed productive, because I'm realizing that the more I push myself, the more burnt out I get, and the harder it is to recover from that burnout. It's actually more difficult for me to push myself past my limit and then try to recoup once I'm completely fried. So we're not doing that anymore. Like, I want to leave the path. I want to pioneer in my own life and in my own communities and groups and share that rest can be productive and it's okay. That I don't need to give 12 and 14-hour days anymore. I don't need to climb some ridiculous ladder if that's not really like, if I'm not doing it for the 1,000% joy of it, then is it really worth it? And I think what's difficult is that a lot of us go into our fields of study and professions and we start off really enjoying it. And then, at least for me, I get to a point where I'm like, as much as I enjoy it, the systems and structures that things are built on make it really, really difficult for me to be passionate about it anymore, because it's no longer about the joy and doing a good job. It's more about how much can you do and how quickly can you do it, and then how can you turn around and do that and duplicate those efforts in 50 different ways. And it takes the joy out of it, and it brings you to burnout, and it brings you to bitterness as a projector, because you're not being recognized and you're not being in your zone of genius and you're not being successful. And I had to say, enough is enough. I don't want to be burnt out, and I want to reprioritize things that matter to me. And then I want to look and see, like, what is success for me? What does success feel like? What does it look like in my life? And I don't want to look to the rest of the world to define that for me. I want to define it for myself.